Fourth down to the Bets. Finally had a winning week. 3-2. Had some rough couple of weeks, but feel good about where it was at. I was a little worried about the Eagles game, and then about, 15, 20 minutes in, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be a game for the Eagles. They're putting some people on notice, and that put me over the top of 3-2. 3-2 for the week. Mike, 2-3, his first losing week. He's still very much on the positive side. 10-7 overall. My record overall, wrote it down, 22-23 on the season. Let's get it started here on Thanksgiving for me. I wanted to pick the Dolphins. Tua said the comment about how he wants to change. It's about changing narratives and stuff. And I think at a certain point, like, it's not really a narrative when your record is like 1-7. That's not a narrative. Like, that's a fact.
You're the Florida football team.
Nobody's crafting it. And I think for as long as I've watched football, Green Bay in November, December, January football is one of the greatest home field advantages that you can have. And the Packers are only giving up 3 points. So I like Green Bay at home, -3 in this game to cover. And it's not that, like, I still think that Tua can look good and sort of combat some of the conversations by just playing the way he's played, because he's been balling over the last 4 games. Like, he's been phenomenal. I mean, Mike sent me a video before the show of a Tua fan, like standing out there telling all the haters where to go. But I got the Packers at home, -3. My second pick is the Steelers are on the road against the Bengals team coming off a bye that has to, they are desperate and they have to win out. But the Steelers need to keep pace in a division game, and they're getting 3 points in Cincinnati.
Wow.
I like them on the road, +3, divisional game. Know they got to have it in this spot. And then also, I think what they do downfield, George Pickens, Mike Williams, I think they're going to be able to have some explosive shots there. And then hopefully this extended break for the Steelers has gotten them, because they're coming off a bye, but I think the Steelers played, their last game was the Thursday game against Cleveland. So they got a little bit of a mini bye in there too. So it's like both teams should be really rested, ready to go. Najee Harris, Steelers, +3 for my second pick.
Yeah, I think that's a generous line too. That's respect to the Bengals.
Yeah, but I think that also the odds makers know that it's a good team with a good offense in a division game at home. Yeah, it felt like something I just had to pick. Seahawks again. I just keep picking against the Jets because I just don't believe in them. And if you're telling me that it's -1, that basically the Seahawks just have to win the game, even though I picked against the Seahawks last week, that looked like crap. But I'm getting Geno, and everybody loves to use the term revenge game. I feel like this is why wouldn't you want to be revengeful if you're Geno Smith after what the Jets did to you in the start of your career and all the chaos that went on there? I think that the Seahawks defense is going to cause some problems for the Jets offensive line and Aaron Rodgers. So I'm taking the Seahawks -1 on the road in New York. Then I got another road team, a desperate team. The Los Angeles Rams are going to New Orleans. -2.5. They need to win by a field goal. The Rams need to win this game to have any shot at getting that final wild card spot. And I did have the Rams winning the division, and I made a lot of mistakes there. I had the Rams as my Super Bowl team from the NFC. Mistake. But they still could make the playoffs, and you get into the dance, you could make a run. I also just kind of root for the Rams. But as we talked about it, Mike, Derek Carr with an interim head coach plays like freaking Patrick Mahomes. The dude, he couldn't lose with Bisaccia, and now he's got Rizzi, and it's like the dude is unstoppable. So maybe not a great pick, but I got the Rams -2.5. My final pick, I'm going to Buffalo. They get the Niners there. I think coming into the season, this was a game that I was really excited about, being this late in the season, seeing these two teams, but the 49ers just aren't healthy enough to go to Buffalo in a coming off a bye type situation to go and really make this close. It's 6.5 for Buffalo, but I think that's something they can cover. So one last time here, I got the Packers on Thanksgiving -3 against the Dolphins. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers +3 against the Bengals. The Seahawks -1 versus the Jets. Rams -2.5 versus New Orleans. And I got the Buffalo Bills -6.5 against San Francisco. What do you got against the spread, Mike?
I've got 4 for you this week, Tony, and we're going to start this off and finish this off in the next 2 days. First 4 games are my picks, and I will be 4-0 by Friday, chilling on Sunday on my bag. Anyways, I'm going to start off with the game that I agree with you on, and that is the Packers to beat the Dolphins. I think this will be a 10-plus point game. I know that the Dolphins are fighting their ass off right now. I know that they're playing really well. I like the way that this Packers rushing attack matches up against the Dolphins defense. I think they're going to be able to get an early lead. And like you've been saying, the Dolphins struggled to get it going when they're forced to pass in the cold. They're going to have to commit to the run game and go blow for blow with the Packers. Give me Josh Jacobs in that group to put it together. It is 3.5 points. I wish it was 3 or 2.5. That would be pretty nice to have the field goal. But I'll take the Packers anyways. My next one might surprise some people, but it's kind of similar thing in the last week when I took the Cowboys to cover. They ended up winning that game. The Bears getting 9.5 points here. I wish that I got that extra half to make it 10. But after last week's game against the Minnesota Vikings, their offense came alive against a pretty aggressive defense. I didn't get to watch the game, but I assume they started to get after some of those blitzers. I think that that's going to be put on tape for the Bears here against the Lions. Maybe the Lions give Caleb a little bit more respect. I think this game's going to be close. And I don't know. Do you believe in curses, Tony? Because the Chargers are now 0-7 in these uniforms or whatever.
Yeah. I don't believe
the Lions lose. They lose every year on Thanksgiving, no matter how good or bad they are. So I'll take the Bears to cover. And then I got the Cowboys beating the Giants pretty handily. You got Drew Lock coming in here to face a hungry Micah Parsons. And what I saw out of the Cowboys defense last week against a solid offense shows me that they're at least going to fight this thing out to the very end for their own personal contracts probably. But, hey, I don't need good reasoning to bet on Micah Parsons to destroy Drew Lock. We'll just bet on it every single time. So I'll take the Cowboys -3.5 over the Giants on tomorrow as well. And then my last pick, now they don't even have Gardner Minshew. Okay. I'm taking the Chiefs to win by 50 maybe. They didn't get that like absolute revenge or vengeance on them for that Muppet puppet crap. I think it all comes pouring down, and you got Mahomes over there doing this on the sideline. I'm here with his hand puppet up by 21 plus points on the Raiders to end this one on Black Friday early, while whoever the Chiefs' backup quarterback is in there. All I will say is Andy Reid, give it to Pacheco, baby. Just put him in my lineup. Give it to Pacheco. Pacheco. I have one more thing, Tony. I don't ever wish for injuries, but I put a challenge out there to the Raiders defense this week. I've told Raiders fans to share it with every single player they possibly can. The challenge is, if we don't have to play Patrick Mahomes in a couple weeks, I will not talk shit about this Raiders season all off season. So there's your bounty.
I do not support that. I almost had the Chiefs in this spot too, because this feels like the perfect opportunity for the Chiefs to embarrass them, right? It's going to be the only game on, and they are going to, I think the defense has to be feeling not embarrassed, but like
this just broke right now during the press conference. I just got the notification. Don't ask me why I have notifications on for this kind of stuff. Quote from Antonio Pierce at his press conference when asked about facing the Chiefs today, claiming that the Raiders are the worst team in football.
Time out.
I haven't watched it yet. Maybe we could watch it live together, but that's what it says in text.
Oh my God.
Football against the worst team in football.
There it is. Yeah, he did.
Watching, yeah. It's called spade to spade, right? The best team in football against the worst team in football. Let's change it.
Okay. The way he's saying that is like to motivate. He's like, this is what you guys all, this is what you think of us. This is what you think of our team. You think we're the worst team. I don't think he believes that. I think the way he's saying it, but just reading the text of it, the way that you did, it's like, dude.
That's a great clip for me. I'm saving that one.
But it's also like, are you just trying to get home for Thanksgiving? Are you just trying to make sure that you get fired by saying that into a microphone? You're like, hey, I got dinner plans tomorrow, so I don't want to be there on Friday.
It's too bad you guys aren't the worst team in football. That'd actually be better for you.
Well, they are, I'm getting text messages from, our friend who's a Raiders fan saying like, well, I need the Ravens to win because it's better for strength of schedule and we get it closer to the number 1 overall pick. It's like, holy shit. This really is kind of turned into a dumpster fire.
Marcus Russell incoming. Yay. He wears the same number.
Last thing on this before we go to fifth down, the game of the week, they announced Drew Lock as the starter. Did I miss that?
Drew Lock's the starter. Tommy DeVito, I think, is banged up. Like he's not even going with the team.
Okay. Yeah, he took some shots in that game.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, and I was going to say, too, before that breaking news thing, was the way Andy Reid talked to the Chiefs team last week. They seemed disappointed that game against Carolina was so close. And I just think that Spags is going to have something defensively, offensively at the same time, too. There's going to be some more ring around the rosy type embarrassment.
Yeah, like they didn't lose, but it's still like a bounce back in their minds.